My dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Let's start our today's class. Dear students, welcome to my online class. In this slide, I would like to introduce myself and my class. So, here present Muhammad Rabiul Islam, Assistant Teacher, English, Pioneer Girls High School, Khulna, and ICT for Education Ambassador, Khulna Shadar, Khulna. Dear students, now I would like to take an English class especially for the students of class 9 and 10, Unit 14, Lesson 9. Thank you so much. Dear students, at the beginning of my class, I would like to show some pictures, and I earnestly request to all of you to see this picture very attentively, because after showing the picture, I would like to ask a very important question which is very related to this class. Thank you. So let's see some picture. Okay, my dear students, my question is, do you have any idea about the smallest river in the world? Can you tell the name? Oh, thank you. Your answer is correct. The smallest river in the world is the Sands of Dee. The Sands of Dee. Now, my dear students, can you guess which lessons we are going to read today? What is the name of this today's lesson name? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So today's lesson is The Sands of Dee, written by Charles Kingsley. The Sands of Dee, written by Charles Kingsley. Thank you. This is the today's learning outcome. I believe that if you are attentive in this class, after finishing this lesson, we will be able to understand and enjoy the poem. Right, answer the questions and evaluate literary text. Thank you. So let's go forward. Listen to the poem, read it aloud in groups. Okay? The Sands of Dee. Okay, read it aloud in groups because this is your group work. Okay, dear students, you will read first, then I will read it for your right pronunciation. Okay? Okay, thank you. Now, dear students, listen to me. Oh, Mary, go and call the cattle home, and call the cattle home, and call the cattle home. Across the sands of Dee, the western wind was wild and dank with foam. The western tide crept up along the sand and over the sand, and round the sand. As far as I could see, the rolling mist came down and hit the land, and never home came she. Oh, is it wheat or fish or floating here? Are trees of golden here? Are drowned maidens here? Above the nets at sea was never salmon yet that shone so fair among the stakes of Dee. They rode her in across the rolling foam, the cruel crawling foam, the cruel hungry foam, to her grave beside the sea. But still the boatman hear her call the cattle home across the sands of Dee. Okay, dear friends, like this, you'd like to recite the poem. Thank you. Thank you so much. Then, dear students, we will try to know the meaning of first stanza. Okay, the meaning of first stanza. Cattle. Cattle means cows and oxen. Sands of Dee. Shores of the river Dee in Wales. Western wind. Wind from the west. Dank. Unpleasantly damp and cold. Foam. Foam means here waves of sands of Dee. Okay? Thank you. Next. Meaning of second stanza. Western tide, waves from the west, crept up along the sand, means move to the shore. Over, over. Yeah, over is a contraction form. Then we would, we would like to learn it in full form. Then, as far as I could see, means in the vicinity. Rolling mist means floating mist, and never home came she means she never came home. She never came home. Meaning of third stanza. Wed, trees, drowned, maiden, a girl, nets, salmon, shone, stags. Okay? Then meaning of fourth stanza, I mean last stanza of this poem. They means the fishermen, road, rolling foam, crawling, and at last grave. Okay, thank you so much. Then, dear students, now we would like to give answer the questions. My first question is, what was the weather like when Mary went to bring the cattle home? Okay, dear students. At first, you would like to give write the answer of this question. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for your nice answer. Dear students, now I would like to add another answer which is very helpful to you, I believe. That is, my answer is when Mary went to bring the cattle home, the time the weather was rough like wild. Okay, dear students. Second question. Look at some words, phrases, and sentences that have been repeated several times. Explain why the poet has done that. Now, dear students, you would give answer of these questions. Oh, it is tough for you. So don't worry. I will give answer. So you will keep concentration in here and write down the answer in your exercise paper. Okay, dear students, the answer is some sentences that have been repeated several times in the poem. And call the cattle home, and call the cattle home, and over the sand, and round the sand. The cruel crawling foam, the cruel hungry foam, because the poet has journeyed to give pressure on metaphor and simile. Okay, dear students, here the poet would like to add some literary, literary terms. Dear students, my next question is, how has the poet described the sea? How has the poet described the sea? Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for your nice performance. Dear students, I would like to add on the answer. Okay, but my answer is similar to you. Okay, that is, the answer is the poet has described the sea like a wild beast. In another sense, the western wind was wild and dank with foam. Okay, dear friends, follow me. Next question, narrate the story of Mary in your own words. Okay, thank you. Dear students, I would like to add another answer in here, so you have to follow me. The answer may be Mary was a little girl who was asked to bring the cattle home, which had gone away for grazing. She went out of the house alone, calling out to them. Dusk was falling by then, and the day was stormy and dark. Tides were rising. As soon as she landed on the shores of Dee, to reach the land on the other side. Mist covered her eyes. She couldn't even see where the land lay, and ultimately the sea pulled her in. Her body was discovered later by the fishermen who went to catch salmon in the sea. They found her by shining golden traces of the sea and brought her to the shore, where her grave lasts till this day. But even now, when the fishermen walk along those shores in search of fish, they can hear Mary's frantic shrill calling the cattle home. Okay, this is the gist of this poem. Like this way, you will narrate the poem. Okay, dear students. My last question. Suppose you are walking on the shore with a couple of your friends while Mary was drowning. Describe what you would have done. Okay, dear students, follow me. If I were walking on the shore with a couple of my friends while Mary was drowning the time, I will go there and try to rescue Mary from drowning because she was a little girl. Okay, thank you. Dear students, I would like to go my next slide. Dear students, here I would like to mention some literary rhetoric, which was mentioned in this poem? Okay, literary terms applicable to the Sands of Dee. And all of the literary terms is alliteration, ambiguity, auditory imagery, connotation, denotation, diction, figurative language, foreshadowing, imagery, literal language, metaphor, meter, mood, motif, personification. Dear students, then repetition, rhyme, rhythm, sustain, setting, simile, stanza, structure, symbol, symbolism, syntax, theme, tone, verbal imagery, visual imagery. All of the literary rhetoric are mentioned in this poem. So, in this sense, I can say that this poem is very much important for its literary rhetorics. Thank you. Dear students, thanks a lot for participating my class. So again, I can say thank you very much. Dear students, at last, I would like to say stay home and keep safe. Thank you very much.